Y'all see this? Shout out to my mom, because we would not be here without her.
Hello, stranger. It's been a minute.
It's been a while since I've sat down and done my makeup. I didn't even do my makeup for New Year's. I was so sick. So we're going to play in some makeup today. I think I'm going to start light, you know, kind of build an everyday routine, refamiliarize myself with the products and how to use things. So that's basically what today is all about. So if it comes out trash, we know why. It's been a minute, girl. But I have hope. So I'm just going to dampen my face with this, just for some hydration. This is the beauty elixir that I have told you guys about plenty of times before. Honestly, we're not playing in anything new necessarily, because again, I just want to get familiar with my products again since I haven't used them in so long. I think I'm going to start with just using a skin tint. I'm going to use this one from WESTMAN ATLIER. I haven't grabbed this in so long, but I know I used to love it. And I am using the shade ATLIER IX. So that is the shade that I'm using. Hopefully it still matches me. I don't even know if my makeup matches me. That's another thing as well. I do recall it being liquidy. So I'm just going to apply a little bit because I feel like a little goes a long way. On top of that, I just want to kind of build up to what I need and not just assume. I don't even know what brush I want to use. So many clean brushes. I'm going to use this one from e.l.f. Cosmetics. And I'm just going to start just by tapping this into the skin. This just gives a nice like glow to the skin. And it doesn't really cover things per se. So I'm not looking to create like a full coverage makeup look or anything like that. I just want to refamiliarize my face with product. The concealer is what's going to do the most work basically. Honestly, not a lot of product is getting on the brush either, which I don't recall that, but it's nice when you know that your products aren't being wasted on brushes and sponges. Which, speaking of sponge, haven't used that in even longer than I've done makeup. Maybe I'll go back into being a sponge girl. Very just like natural sheer coverage, honestly. And I didn't use a lot of product. Should we use an actual like foundation? I'm kind of feeling using an actual foundation, but I'm kind of scared at the same time. You know what? We're gonna actually revert and do our brows quickly before I even think about foundation. I don't know what I was thinking. Normally I start with my brows. Today I did not. So we're gonna go ahead and gel them up a little bit. I'm gonna use my Rare Beauty brow gel. There's this brow gel that I actually saw on Temu that I'm kind of considering buying. It's only a couple dollars because I want to see how that works. But I also heard that Gots to Be has a brow gel that they came out with. I just have not come across it, so I haven't gotten it. But so far, this one from Rare Beauty has been my absolute favorite because it really molds the brow the way that I want and keeps it in place without having to worry about it moving afterwards. It feels so good to just sit down and be able to play with makeup again. If you guys seen my last video, honestly, I filmed that prior to the new year. It was before Christmas and before the new year, and I never edited it and got it out because I fell sick. I got sick on Christmas Day. I thought it was just like an allergy thing, but turns out apparently I had the flu. And then on New Year's Eve into New Year's, literally once it hit 12 o'clock for the new year, I got the chills and I was just out for the count. So I have updated you guys in the last video as far as everything else that's been going on, or has gone on I should say, because we're well past that now. But I feel like I'm just now starting to like get into my new year. And it's okay, because regardless of what I've been through, I just know God has something great in store for me, because nothing comes easy. Okay, to fill in my brows, I'm going to still use my KOSAS brow pencil because I haven't done my makeup enough to run through this pencil yet. So I'm just going to create flicks upward just to kind of fill in the dead space. Okay, brows are meh. I probably need a darker pencil, honestly. This just is feeling a little light. And this is in dark brown, but I'm not getting dark brown from this pencil, at least not right now. Anyway, let's move on to some foundation. I pulled out two different ones. I wasn't really sure which one I wanted to use. The Haus Labs or the Pat McGrath Lab foundation. Both really, really good foundations. I'm only going to use a little bit, but I think I'm going to go ahead and use the Pat McGrath because it is giving a little bit of a darker coverage. And I know it's not an exact match for my skin. This is shade medium 15. And I just put a pump on the back of my hand because I literally do not want to use too much. I'd rather have like somewhat of a darker foundation if I can't have my exact match, because I can work with that more so than a lighter foundation. I'm going to use the same brush that I've been using just to kind of tap that into place and just kind of add coverage where I want it. Still keeping in mind that I have to apply my concealer, and the concealer is also going to give some coverage to the skin as well. I'm not looking for anything full coverage, but I do want a little more than usual because I haven't had makeup on for a while and I got things to do after this, so I want to feel a little put together. That's one of my goals for 2025 is even if I'm just running out of the house to go grocery shopping, I'm going to take a little extra time to put myself together. It's all about showing up for yourself this year, you know? Show up like the person that you want to be. And me, I want to be a well put together person who has her together and knows what she's doing, even though sometimes I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just going with the vibes and flowing with life, but that ain't nobody business but my own. I feel like, is it this one or was it the e.l.f. that was like you had to build it up for more coverage? I don't remember, so I don't want to go overboard, but I do love a nice bronzy look, so I'm just gonna slap some right there. I just did it. Didn't even think twice about it, y'all. And then I'm going to use my Makeup by Mario brush. I love this brush. Very sturdy. And I like just using both sides, honestly. I'm going to use the bigger side just to kind of press that into the skin. Yeah, this is more skin-like. I wasn't really sure if it was this one or if it was the e.l.f. Is there an e.l.f. one that I have? Child, I don't know. But there was this one or another one that I wasn't really sure if it was like very sheer. And this one is more of like that sheer natural coverage, which is nice because again, we're not looking to go outside looking like we have a full beat on. I mean, we're going to look like we have makeup on, but we want it to look as natural as possible. And I say that in quotation marks because, I mean, makeup can only look but so natural, if that makes sense. So I'm just kind of going back and forth between these two brushes, basically. And I'm going to use this just to kind of drag this down the nose, bring it up into the brow, just for a little contour in here, the hollow of the eye, and then right on the tip of the nose. Have I done a full face using a makeup puff? I feel like I have. If it wasn't here on YouTube, it definitely was on like TikTok or something. I'll do it again, probably. How do you guys feel about TikTok being banned? Hopefully they don't get rid of TikTok because it's really a great platform. Yes, sometimes I can find myself a little too consumed with TikTok, but I really think it's a great outlet, a great resource. You can find pretty much anything on there. Just kind of the same way you can find anything you're really looking for on YouTube, but YouTube is a little bit more intentional in terms of looking for things, as to where TikTok, sometimes stuff just be flowing on your timeline that you didn't know you needed, but you needed, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. I'm torn, I guess, in terms of like TikTok being gone. As a creator, not so much because I'm not posting on there like I was, if that makes sense, but as a consumer, yeah, definitely. We could go a little deeper with the bronzer, contour, whatever you guys want to consider it, but I'm going to move into concealer, and I'm going to use my Haus Labs concealer because I want a little coverage, but I also don't want too bright of a concealer. And I think the Nars concealer is a little brighter than this. So I'm just going to apply, you know what, I'm going to come all the way down here with it, actually. I was just going to go in the inner corner, but you know what? We're going to ball out with the concealer, okay? This is coming together so nicely. I love that for me. I love when my makeup turns out really nice. And it feels good to have makeup on my skin. Not that I feel like I need it, but it feels good. And if you know, you know. Now I am going to set with a little bit of powder. I want to use two different powders. I'm going to use some of my SEPHORA This is the Micro Smooth powder. This is in Matte Tan. I'm going to use a little bit of this, but I also want to use a loose powder. So I'm going to use the Translucent Honey powder as well to set like that concealer. And I'm going to just take my sponge, kind of run it over that, and then lightly just kind of press that into my skin. I think using my sponge to just set this down and press, you know, the powder in is a good method, because it's kind of like the powder puff in a sense, where you would dip it into the loose powder and kind of do the same thing. It makes the powder flat and even, so you don't have to worry about it being uneven or anything like that. It just, everything just goes together a lot nicer. And I'm going to take it down here on my jawline too, just because this is more of a skin powder. It gives a little coverage, but not too much. See, with this, I dip it into the product and then I go on the back of my hand, so I can make sure it's nice and even. I think I'm going to go in with some of the Nars bronzer. This is in Laguna, and I'm going to use my favorite brush. Well, this one and the Sephora one, just like it. This is from Sonia Kashuk. This is just the powder brush, but I have this one as well from Sephora, number 50. They're very similar and comparable. I love them for bronzer, just because I am a bronzer. Probably shouldn't talk and do bronzer at the same time. Now for the Anastasia bronzer, again, a little bit deeper. So I want to take more of like a tapered brush. Not too much like we were doing with the other one, because I don't want to overdo it. You can always add a product, but you cannot take product away. So just be very mindful. And then I'm just gonna, whatever's left on the brush, down my nose. Now the question is, do I want to do blush? And if so, do I want to do orange or do I want to do pink? I think I'm going to do pink, just because what I think I'm going to wear today is going to be a pink top. Not like super hot pink or anything, but just do a little. I'm just going to do one dot. All right, my favorite highlighter of all time, Sephora. So I'm going to use the gold. Nothing new over here. Because it's what I like. I like highlight, but I like a glow from within kind of highlight. I don't like it to be too shimmery and shiny unless I have a little more going on. But for an everyday nice little glow onto the skin, use this. Just adds that extra element, you know, that nobody asked for. And then to set everything down, I'm going to use the L'Oreal 3-Second Setting Mist. This is a matte finish, if I'm not mistaken. I don't really remember, honestly. But I do remember this does hold your makeup down really, really nicely. So, but actually, before I apply that, I'm going to spray this one just to kind of wet everything. This is the Morphe Mini Continuous Prep and Continuous... Morphe Mini Continuous Prep and Set Mist. It has ceramides, antioxidants, good for the skin. That's just to melt everything. Got a new little fan. So we use her. And just dry this a little. And then as our final step, we're going to use the L'Oreal. She's a lot colder. And you gotta hold your breath with it. Alright, you guys, that is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. As always, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on your bell notifications so you can be notified every single time that I upload. I really enjoyed sitting down and getting ready together today and just getting back into the flow of things. Honestly, I didn't do too bad. I really didn't. I thought I lost my touch, but I might still got a little something. As I said in my previous video, if you've seen it, I do intend on doing a little bit more eyeshadow looks this year. So maybe the next video we do will be eyeshadow incorporated. So stay tuned for that, but also stay tuned for some other content as well. Of course, you can let me know what you want to see this year down in the comments down below. But other than that, I have nothing else to say other than Happy New Year. I love you guys. Thanks for supporting me. And I will see each and every one of you, hopefully, right back here in the next one, whether that is a video or a vlog, whichever one comes first, girl.